It's 6 o'clock, and we will bring our City Council meeting for June 22nd to order, and we'll begin with roll call.
Sarchet?
Here.
Savage? Dvorak?
Here.
Hill?
Here.
Otis?
Here. Item number 3 is approval of agenda. I'll ask for a motion in a second to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
And roll call.
Hill?
Yes.
Otis?
Yes.
Sarchet?
Yes.
Dvorak?
Yes. Item number 3 is public hearing. It's time to close the regular meeting and open the public hearing on Polk City Regional Park Phase 1 bids. Susan, when was the notice published?
June 12th, 2026.
Have we had any written comments for or against the Polk City Regional Park Phase 1 bids?
No, sir.
At this time, I'd like to request staff to provide a report.
All right. Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Tonight, I'm going to just give a little bit of a brief history as to how we got to tonight, and then I will turn it over to Michael Steen with DCI Group to kind of talk about more of the technical component of what you guys are considering this evening. Back on April 13th, the council rejected all bids on a design bid build approach to Phase 1 of the Regional Park project, Phase 1. At that same meeting, it was also preliminarily discussed to look into a CMA model, a construction management agent model. At the 4/27 council meeting, council reaffirmed that they wanted staff to look into this approach, and so we did. On May 4th, a small mayor-appointed committee of himself, 2 council members, Chelsea Huseman and myself, interviewed multiple construction management agents and came up with the recommendation of DCI Group. On the May 11th, this council awarded a CMA contract to DCI Group. Between May 11th and June 11th, the next important date, DCI worked closely with staff, city engineer, to get everything ready for the June 11th bid letting that took place in this room at 2 p.m., where 6 bid packages were opened and low bids were identified. I would ask Michael Steen to come up right now and talk more about those bid packages.
Good afternoon, or good evening. As Jason alluded to, my name is Michael Steen. I'm with DCI Group, Vice President there. Construction Manager for the Polk City Regional Park Phase 1 project. So since getting involved here about a month and a half, we spent time with Snyder Associates, the City Parks and Rec Department, working through the bid documents and dividing the scope of work up into what we call multiple prime bid packages. So dividing the scope up into separate bid packages to put that out to bid for multiple primes. We developed 6 bid packages. We have bid packages for the general construction and landscaping, site grading and utilities, the field construction, electrical and low voltage, parking, sidewalks and trail pavement, and then the road pavement on Northeast 7th. We received 24 bids on those 6 bid packages and then spent the next week reviewing those bids, making sure they were responsive bidders, making sure that they could answer to the schedule and be accountable to the schedule. So what you have in front of you now for that resolution is low bidders that came in on that day and what is being recommended by DCI Group. Available for any questions anybody has on that process or anything else.
Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, so could you walk me through, part of what you guys do seems very straightforward. You have a schedule, are you on, behind, but with respect to the quality of the work, can you walk me through some examples on how you're deeming the work to be done as it was designed and as it was planned?
Yep, absolutely. That's a good question. So one of the advantages of a construction manager is when we solely work for the owner, where we don't have our own scope of work that is our priority. Our priority is the success of the project for you guys. We will have a full-time superintendent on site. We'll also have a project manager who will be on site and a project engineer involved as well. So that superintendent not only will be meeting with the contractors every morning to go through the schedule, where we're at, are we meeting the plan that we put in place, but also walking the job site to verify quality and verify the work in place. So we do that a number of ways. One is quality control audits with quality control checklists for things like first install inspections. So first time we go do concrete, for instance, going through a checklist with the team to say, are we doing the things we're supposed to be doing? Are we following the specifications? Do we have the inspections in place? So we'll do those first install inspections with the entire group. We also do things like, we do a lot of photography with 360 photos and drone photography. Drone photography being a big one on something like this project. We can go fly our drone, do an overlay of the plans to identify our utilities being installed where we said they're going to be. Are we making sure critical crossings for utilities are planned? So we'll do that on a routine basis as well. Chris Kahn, who's our superintendent for this project, he's one of our senior superintendents, has done some very large projects. We identified him for this project just due to the complexity and the urgency in the schedule, and he's well versed in ensuring quality control is top of mind.
Okay, so that brings up a second question. How, from a continuity standpoint, let me think about how to ask it. How consistently will the same person be there? I know you can obviously hand off and vacation and other reasons for being gone. I totally understand, but can you just walk me through having the same person there, or is it specialists for the different 6 aspects here?
So no, we have the same superintendent who's dedicated from the beginning to the end. So our team is, so myself as vice president, we have a project executive, a project manager, superintendent, and project engineer. And that same team will be involved from day one to the end. Our superintendent will be the same superintendent who's out there full-time every day.
Okay. The last thing, I think, like a normal status update to staff here, I don't necessarily care about, but what are, you just walk me through if something is either delayed or you have questions on, how does that go back to staff here at City Hall?
Well, I sure hope we have an open line of communication daily with the Parks and Rec Department or whoever our main point of contact is going to be with the city on projects. So one of the things we do is we utilize Procore as our project management software. It's where we will house all the requests for information, all the change documents, and that's accessible to the entire project team, both cities, Snyder and Associates, and all the contractors. So one, that ensures that everybody's got all the available information right away. And then as issues arise, since we're out there daily and we're addressing schedule with them daily, there isn't this lag of days or weeks before that information is known and that information starts to get addressed immediately. So as questions arise, concerns or issues, we'll bring that to the team immediately, as well as in our weekly, what we do is owner, architect, contractor meetings or designer in lieu of architect. Where we review the status of the project, we review where the schedule is, where the budget is, upcoming work, upcoming inspections, all those things.
Thank you.
Anyone else, any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
information.
Just one quick question that I had just before we move forward on this. So we got 6 different bid packages by 5 different companies. Is it your recommendation that we accept the apparent low bidder of these 5 different companies for the 6 bids from scenario B? Is that your recommendation? Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So moving on then, if there are no further questions, is anyone present who wishes to be heard for or against the Polk City Regional Park Phase 1 bids? Seeing none then, I need a motion to close the public hearing and reopen the regular meeting.
So moved. Second.
And roll call on that.
Sarchet?
Yes.
Dvorak?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Otis?
Yes.
Moving on then to item 4A1, I need a motion to approve the resolution adopting plans, specifications, form of contract, and opinion of probable construction cost. Motion and second?
So moved.
Second.
And roll call.
Otis?
Yes.
Sarchet?
Yes.
Dvorak?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
All right, so we'll move through these individually then. Item 4A2/BP01. I need a motion to approve the resolution awarding contract to Graphite Construction Group for general construction and landscaping. Motion and a second.
Mayor, can I make one comment before we start considering these 6 resolutions tonight? The city attorney has not provided me any feedback on the contracts, so I'd ask that the council, if you're going to consider approving them, you make it contingent on the city attorney reviewing all contracts. We sent those to her last Tuesday, and I have not heard back from her on that, so I would ask that you make it contingent on review by the city attorney.
And that's all 6?
Yes,
And we're making separate motions on each?
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So do we have to have the contingency on every one, or are we just agreeing that we're going to do that?
I think with your motion and second, you better mention contingent on city attorney's review.
Okay, so in each case, I will say contingent on city attorney review. So 4A2/BP01, I need a motion to approve the resolution awarding contract to Graphite Construction Group for general construction and landscaping contingent upon approval from a review from the city attorney.
So moved. Second.
And roll call.
Hill,
Yes.
Otis,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Dvorak.
Yes.
Item 4A2/BP02. I need a motion to approve the resolution awarding contract to Graphite Construction Group for site grading and utilities contingent upon review from the city attorney. Motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Hill,
Yes.
Otis,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Dvorak.
Yes.
Moving on then to 4A2BP03. I need a motion to approve the resolution awarding contract to Iowa Athletic Field Construction Company for field construction pending it being approved by the city attorney. Or let me just rephrase that so it's similar, contingent upon review by the city attorney.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Dvorak.
Yes.
Hill, Otis.
Yes.
Item 4A2BP04. I need a motion to approve the resolution awarding contract to Van Manen Electric Incorporated for electrical and low voltage, contingent upon review from the city attorney. Motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call.
Dvorak.
Yes.
Hill, Otis.
Yes.
Sarchet.
Yes.
Item 4ABP05. I need a motion to approve the resolution awarding contract to Smart Concrete Solutions for parking, sidewalks, and trail paving contingent upon review by the city attorney.
So moved. Second.
And a roll call.
Otis,
Yes.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Dvorak.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
And then finally, item 4A2BP06. I need a motion to approve the resolution awarding contract to Alliance Paving LLC for road paving contingent upon review by the city attorney.
Second.
And roll call.
Sarchet.
Yes.
Dvorak.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Otis.
Yes.
All right then, thank you very much. We'll move on to the public comments period. This is a time and place for comments for any item other than those that are a public hearing. It looks like we've had one card presented by David Merrill of 1600 Tournament Way. David, would you just recite your name and your address for us for the record?
Yes, David Merrill, 1600 Tournament Club Way. I'm a 14-year resident of Polk City, and I'm here tonight to represent 43 families that reside in the townhomes of TCI, 84 residents. There's a pedestrian crossing at Broadway and Tournament Club Way and Falcon Drive going the other way. It's an ongoing problem to get across that street at times. I know there's a speed limit sign coming from Big Creek, but those cars, it's a 45-mile zone. Those cars come around the curve and they're not even close to 45 miles an hour. And a lot of times if you're in the street or in the crosswalk, it's sad, but they speed up. And we have a lot of residents that are, I would say, over the age of 65. They all love to get out and walk, to go to the park, use the pathways. We've had numerous requests from the residents there at TCI and among the board for the townhomes for a crossing light similar to the one right out here in front of City Hall at 3rd and Van Buren and Parker and West Side, where you just hit the button when the flashers come on and hopefully the cars stop. And it appears to work really well in both those locations. And we'd love for the council maybe just to consider something of that sort at our intersection there at Broadway and Tournament Club and Falcon Drive.
Okay. Okay, thank you, David. We appreciate your comments and we'll
If you don't
certainly.
mind sticking around for a little bit, we're not supposed to respond to you right now, but we do have a section at the end if you do, and it's gonna be a short meeting tonight, so if you don't mind sticking around, I'll take some time.
And that is what I was going to say to anybody who presents during the public comment period is just what Rob just said. So we'll move on from there. So we'll move on to item number 6, which is consent items, and I'll ask for a motion and a second to approve.
So moved. Second.
And roll call.
Sarchet,
Yes.
Dvorak.
Yes.
Hill. Otis.
Yes.
We have one business item, 7A, resolution approving Central Iowa Waterworks CIWW amendment to the 28E, 28F agreement. Chelsea?
Thank you, Mayor. For the city council to review and consider tonight is an amendment that is being proposed by Central Iowa Waterworks to the 28E, 28F agreement. I'm going to go over this very briefly. If you had an opportunity to review my memo, you can see the exact language in the amendment. There are 4 proposed changes to different articles within the agreement tonight. The first one is essentially amending the requirement to provide 5-day notice for board meetings. Central Iowa Waterworks would just comply with the open meeting law requirements under Iowa Code Section 21.4, which requires 24-hour notice. The second article that is being proposed to amend is in regards to providing an official designation of a treasurer role for Central Iowa Waterworks. The third amendment includes a number of items within this amended article, but it would provide that the executive committee notification requirement, that they also would adhere to the Iowa open meeting law requirements for calling meetings to order. It would also change that all chairs of the committees would be a 2-year term. And it also adds language regarding that treasurer information. The final article that is being amended allows member agencies the option to obligate and issue its own bonds instead of under Central Iowa Waterworks. This is just allowing the member agencies another financing option for its members. I am happy to answer any questions. All member agencies are required to adhere to the amendment. It does require compliance across all of the agencies involved. But I'd be happy to answer any questions that the council may have.
Anything, Chelsea?
So could you talk, why the timing here? And I ask in the sense that we adopted CIWW's, the transition to CIWW a while back. We experienced the first year with the watering. We added, or we ceded control on some of the penalty stuff, which I could get on board with, wasn't super excited about, but now we're adding more changes that quite honestly, we aren't probably in too much of a position to do anything about. And so it just makes me a little bit nervous where it seems as though we set the agreement and now there's changes after the fact. Can you assuage my concerns or perception, or?
Just my review and perspective, Central Iowa Waterworks is a newer organization and there's been a lot of learning since they've been established. And I think that, maybe they would prefer to operate by best practices. Just from my viewpoint, the 5-day notification requirement, it's not in alignment with what Iowa code requires. If the city council needed to hold an emergency council meeting, you have to adhere to the 24-hour notice. And Central Iowa Waterworks has had to deal with a number of emergencies. So I think that's one factor. I think they would like to have a treasurer position, but it's not in the 2080 agreement. So I think that's probably more of a minor cleanup matter. Amending some of the items under committees of the board. I know all of you have been involved with committees, but my recollection is they want to make the chair positions 2-year appointments because it's hard to get a lot done and accomplished, and it's hard to not have anything more than a 2-year commitment, I would say. It also provides that cleanup for that treasurer position. And then the last change, which I talked about, is just another financing mechanism that the member agencies have access to. I think that was some feedback that had been received from a number of the member agencies. I would call this a cleanup amendment, honestly. Like, I don't think that there's any drastic changes, but I'm happy to answer any other questions you might have.
My take on the timing issue was that, if you'll recall back for the last couple of months, Central Iowa Waterworks has been going through the process of that after action report and getting that out to all the member agencies. And a lot of these recommendations, particularly the first article we're amending tonight, comes directly from that, with changing the emergency meetings and being able to hold those in short succession. And I think the rest of these, they've decided to try to tail on as we've noticed issues that have come up over the course of our operational year. So trying to bring them through as one package instead of having to do this 4 separate times for all of our member agencies.
Okay.
Okay, so if there's nothing else, we'll ask for a motion and a second to approve the resolution approving Central Iowa Waterworks CIWW amendment to the 28E, 28F agreement.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call.
Hill.
Yes.
Otis.
Yes.
Sarchet.
Yes.
Dvorak.
Yes.
Item number 8, reports and particulars. We will begin with staff. Anything from staff? Yes, sir.
So on the dais for the council members tonight, I placed our little handout that we created. We rolled out our public engagement survey as part of the 2026 corridor studies, Polk City corridor studies on Thursday as part of our public information meeting. But those are available up at the city services window, as well as we've asked city staff for their assistance in posting them to the city social media sites. We'll continue to push those, but we've rolled out that survey and we'd highly encourage council members. We'll hand them out to P&Z as well to have them work through their channels, but we're looking to get as much involvement with those. So there's 3 surveys on that website, split by 3rd Street Corridor, West Bridge Road Corridor, Town Square Master Plan. And then when you take that survey, or when you're encouraging folks to take that survey, tell them to bookmark that website, because that's going to be where we push out schedule updates, progress, and then as we create and publish documents, that's something that we're going to continually update throughout the rest of the year as we work through those corridor studies. Be happy to answer any questions, but I wanted to draw your attention to that as we rolled that out on Thursday, and we're looking to get as much involvement as we can get.
Anything of Travis? Okay, thanks, Travis. Anybody else from staff? Hi, yeah, Jason.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure everybody's aware and invite everybody to come down to the square this weekend for the Four Seasons Festival. Friday evening, it'll be pretty busy from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And then on Saturday, 7 a.m., early start through 11 p.m. I just kind of wanted to mention, I'm super proud of my staff for what they've done, kind of in a short amount of time for planning the 2026 festival. I'm super grateful as well for other city departments, businesses, local groups that have all jumped in to really make this a community festival. So I would invite everybody to come down, please enjoy yourself. And then staff looks forward to kind of debriefing at a council meeting or work session in July or August to see how it went, what could be better, and what the next steps are for the future of the festival. Hope to see you this weekend.
How you feeling about it?
If it stays dry, and I'll be a much less stressed come Sunday the 28th. But I think we put together a good festival, so
Thanks for all your work.
hope everybody enjoys it.
Thanks, Jason. Anybody else from staff? All right, then, we'll move on to Chelsea. Anything from you?
I don't have anything. Thank you, Mayor.
How about council?
I have a couple things. First up, I've gotten a couple notes from residents who are unhappy about not being able to use the Madison 6th Street as a route to get to the city facilities, particularly the brush pile and the recycling drop-off. It does seem a little odd to me that we're not really letting local traffic even traverse that to use stuff inside city limits. And that has been my understanding of how that's been working overall. I also think it's a little bit problematic that it creates an island of those new neighborhoods that are currently under construction, having to loop all the way around as well, not being able to take that quick local traffic jump across. So I wanted to point that out. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I understand the purpose is, in fact, to stop the through traffic along that arterial from bypassing on there. Don't want that through traffic on there. But not being able to use it for local residents, making them take a 6-mile round trip detour to drop off cardboard is
So how
a lot of pocket, I think.
how do you distinguish between the two?
I don't have a good answer for that, honestly.
I don't either.
I think if somebody gets stopped and they realize they're local, the first thing to do would be to say, hey, hold you over, this is for local traffic, you're local traffic, you're good. That's about the best solution that I have for that. But again, it doesn't seem realistic. It doesn't seem in the spirit of things to be ticketing our own residents for trying to use their local city surface streets to get to local city services.
Well, that's a moving target out there, that's for sure. So
Yep.
certainly more discussion could be had. Well, and
My second thing was that it recently came to my attention that under Robert's Rules of Order, we don't actually need a motion and a second to take an item from the consent agenda and put it on the regular business agenda. If we're not operating under Robert's Rules of Order, if we're operating under some other set of rules, modified, whatever, I would definitely like a copy of those, just to know how to proceed going forward.
okay, I think we can certainly handle that. Anything else from anybody? Yes.
I'll bring up something here real quick. I wanted to take my time to congratulate the North Polk girls soccer team and their coaches on the first state championship. Obviously, a lot of things need to come together for a 7 seed to pull off that many upsets. I think it's a good time to remember that many of those girls started their careers here on these fields in Polk City. So I also want to say thank you and congratulations to all those volunteers, parents, coaches from North Polk United, our staff in Parks and Rec. The work that adults have done makes it possible for all those things to come together. Obviously, a lot of things have to come together in the tournament to make those things happen, but a lot of things also have to come together in the preceding years to set them up for success. So just in general, the Polk City community is very proud of these young women, and I'm hopeful we can get something at our new regional park commemorating that achievement.
Well said. Just real quick, I wanted to just, quick shout out to the police department for cops and bobbers, which I'd never heard of. It's the 5th annual Cops and Bobbers, which is, essentially a way to promote outdoor activity for kids. There was over 40 kids, 100 people there, but just more of that type of thing. Integrating kids with being comfortable around the law enforcement and just getting out and doing things. So thanks for doing that to the PD. Just wanted to give you a shout out. So very much appreciated.
So in response, David, right, is that, so first of all, it's funny, you're here right before the festival. I don't know if you remember this, but you drove, when the parade wasn't optional or wasn't as optional for council people, you drove me in the parade about 8 years ago. So thank you for that, by the way. But, so. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yes, I remember.
We can talk about who was nicer later on. Back to your issue though. So I live in Lost Lakes and I know the need that you're talking about, totally agree on. And I would also add that, so my perspective would be to initiate the same process that we did with the flashing beacons here and on Parker. My concern is that, is it Falcon?
Yeah.
Okay, so Falcon doesn't line up perfectly with Tournament Club Way. And I don't know if that's because it's a private street or that's just the way it was designed, but it kind of adds to the messiness there and very well patrolled, but you're right, cars are moving at a decent clip there. So that's a factor. To me, the largest mitigating factor is the fact that there's not a sidewalk going what would be mostly east, southeast, towards the square, from the Tournament Club side of Broadway. And if that were there, it would be a little bit less of an issue. You could walk to the edge and go down. But my biggest concern, quite honestly, if we don't change that, is that some of these flashing beacons at times create a little bit of a false sense of security because they aren't a stoplight, they aren't a stop sign, and people don't know how to react. So all that is to say, from my standpoint, and it's not obviously just my decision, but I'm happy to go ahead with, it does seem like a solid candidate for that area, at least as compared to some of the other places that we put it. So I agree with that, and I appreciate you coming out for the ask. And I'd be happy to discuss further with you, because again, I'm driving that road every day and recognize you and other people crossing the road that it's an intersection that very easily could lead to some problems. So appreciate you coming out.
And what do we have to do to kind of quantify that ask, right? Because we could have, I absolutely agree that if it's a need and you come here and talk to us about it, then there's no reason why we shouldn't at least look into, what that means and just say, yep, it meets the conditions for what that a crossing would be, and I'm not even sure we have that language, but
Yeah.
whatever our next step would be to be able to keep the ball rolling, if you will,
There is a marked crosswalk with pedestrian signs,
Yep.
but I've personally been in, I use that a lot, and my grandkids, if they're with me, we use that to get to the park. But people don't always stop.
Yeah.
I've been going across before and people honk at me, And a lot of times you have people coming into town that way that maybe aren't residents.
Right.
Maybe they're coming
Going to
from
Big
town
Creek.
or
Yep.
Big Creek or something, but most of the local people stop. If you're in the crosswalk, they'll stop for you. But we've had several people come to the HOA board and just say, I don't feel safe crossing the street, and So I told them, I'd just come talk to you about it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate that, for sure.
So I've never been terribly impressed with the vehicular compliance with actually yielding to pedestrians as a result of those flashers either. So as and if we move forward, looking at placing one somewhere along North Broadway there, Travis or Chelsea, can you also remind all of us what it would warrant to get like a full flashing stop hawk beacon for those any of those locations?
So the Hawk, so what he's referring to is the Hawk system, which like if you're familiar with where the Ankeny Farmers Market is there on First Street, just north of Fire Trucker, that's a Hawk signal. And so basically it is, you push the button, it starts flashing yellow, it goes to solid red, you stop, and then it starts flashing red, and then you proceed when cleared. So it's a pseudo stoplight, not at an intersection. Typically, you would see those on more regional trail systems where you're going to potentially have significant amounts of crossing traffic.
You're also crossing 4 lanes there too, so, I mean,
Yeah.
all this to say, no, keep going, sorry.
And that is a factor, the width, and, because I think those are also used differently. I'm not super familiar with them, but I think they're also used differently if there's a pedestrian refuge island in the middle. So the median with the waiting space in there. What I will tell you is there is a process for evaluating RFBs and other forms of signalization intersection treatment. What Nick is observing, we have also kind of quantified in that we're being much more selective now with RFBs because they are slightly confusing. They're not all that complied with, if not applied correctly, and so we're being much more selective with where we put those now. Not to say, I believe that the 2 locations you have them today probably would still be something we recommend. Obviously, we've used them on all the roundabout projects, so there's a use for them. It's just we're being more selective with them, but there is a process for evaluating.
Well, and that makes sense, right? You put up another one and then a different neighborhood. But I think to your original ask, and not to make this too grandiose, but I think we can start the process to see what upgrade there may be for making that intersection safer.
Travis and Chelsea will follow up on that. So the only other thing that I wanted to do was, I already said it, Jason, you didn't happen to be here, and I applauded the work done by your staff on the Four Seasons Festival, and I will second that by applauding your staff on the work on the Four Seasons Festival. I think they've done a great job, and I really look forward to being in the festival. Obviously, our sports teams really represented our school district and Polk City very well. Soccer, incredible. We had some great golfers as well. And who's the third group that's in the parade ahead of me on Saturday?
Yeah, an idea of my staff, actually our intern, who's a North Polk grad, with all of this success, she said, does a grand marshal need to be, the oldest couple in town? And I said, I don't think there's any written rules to parade etiquette. So yeah, we're gonna have 3 grand marshals in this year's parade, the girls soccer team, the boys third place golf team, and the ladies track team that won, like the 4x medley or something like
Little
that.
hurdle.
Yes, yep, so we'll have those 3 groups leading the parade, so
Very cool.
excited to have them in it.
Thank you for clarifying.
Did you tell the oldest couple that they were out after this?
No.
So, we'll see everybody this weekend for the Four Seasons Festival. So on that note, I think we will ask for a motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. We're adjourned.